Hi, welcome to Appetite for Altruism.
You forgot the name!
I didn't. I'm your host, Theo Landon.
And I'm Jack Stapleton.
It's been a little while since our second episode.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a hiatus.
But understandably so, because of
Christmas,
New Year's,
COVID. I got COVID.
I didn't.
You did it.
A lot of time for new problems, a lot of time to build up a even stronger appetite for...
Well, I think old problems come into it because it's like the new year, so you're like...
New year, old problems.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I got, man. I was like, start the new year, thought that because of this idea of time, we would move on. Something would happen and would magically move on to new shit, but...
My New Year's been blessed with no problems so far.
Fuck off! That's bullshit.
Because on New Year's Eve, I sang Auld Lang Syne, which ceremoniously, which puts a symbolic end to the year.
What is that?
It's just a classic old song that you sing at midnight. I'm just saying that I sung that, and I really, no one, me, I think Bill, a friend, and someone else was singing it. I'm pretty sure all of us, I haven't spoken to the other people who sung it, but we all have,
That's the key.
yeah. They're going to be able to hear that.
Huh?
They're going to hear you. It's right next to the mic.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm rolling a cigarette if anyone wanted ASMR. Well, I ruined the ASMR experience by just saying what I did. Do you reckon people...
You would never do an ASMR.
Shut up! No, but do you think ASMR people want to know what's happening? Or they just want to,
They normally tell you, they say, it's like ASMR medieval nurse, or whatever. They give you
They give you the... Yeah, but do you know what the medieval nurse is doing? Or that's just like a medieval
it's often
nurse?
videos.
You see the video as well, yeah.
Anyway, that's enough.
Sorry.
Let's get into the problems.
Yeah, let's get straight into it.
Question 1. Howdy. My best mate has a new girlfriend, and for the life of me, I can't grow to like her. My girlfriend and I would hang out with him almost every day and have super cool times. But now that he has his new girl around, we avoid them as much as possible, which sucks. She's not a bad person. She just seems like he pointed out into the wild and picked a random girl to make it work with. I think he is underestimating how cool he is and how cool of a partner he could find. He says he's happy, but I think he is forcing himself into what he thinks is a healthier lifestyle. I love him and want the best for him, but I also don't want to overstep and pressure him. Do I just watch it play out? Do you have any tips or hot takes on the matter?
Alright, so I think this is like a classic issue, right? It's like, do you get involved in your friends' relationships, or do you try to be there to give any sort of advice, or do you let it play out because you think that this is what they want right now, and I'm just going to sit back and let it come to some kind of head. And I think it's you can't, if you say anything right now about how cool she is, they're just going to deny it.
How cool she isn't, you mean?
Oh, but how cool she is, meaning how cool she isn't.
Yeah, for sure. I think especially, as you've said in the question, it's a new girlfriend, so they're probably in the honeymoon stage.
Yeah.
He's going to be loving it up. He's going to be annoyed if you say anything bad at this stage of the game. I would say my first thought is he's cool. Obviously, healthier lifestyle sticks out to me. So maybe I don't know if you mean mentally or physically healthier. Maybe you guys are friends who like to party a lot. Maybe he has some mental issues and thinks that having a life partner will assuage and calm his fevered mind, which maybe that's working. And maybe that's also why you think that he's so cool and should have a cool girlfriend, but maybe what he needs is a girlfriend who isn't cool but who makes centers him and curbs his...
But I don't think this friend would be sending in a question if it was just affecting his party mood, but he was actually happier as a person. I think there is...
Maybe it's a selfish question.
I like to think more about listeners than that, but I think that they must I'm just reading the question again, trying to get something out of this.
Yeah, I mean, I think that like I was being a bit unfair. I'm sure it's not a selfish question. Maybe
No.
you just miss your little kick-on friend.
Oh, no, why are you being so negative about our
They've
listeners?
got their one chance at happiness. And
No, fuck off one chance of happiness. Firstly, that's bullshit. And secondly, it's
Well,
like...
their friend obviously thinks that because they're dating a loser. The friend is dating a loser. This normie, apparently, he's way cooler than her. He's picked some random girl to make it work with.
Yeah, I don't see the
Just
problem
a
is
normal
that
girl with the.
I know you can't align on just like debate, like on subject of debate, because it's like, what about they're a good person, but they're just like, and what they say is relevant, but it's just within a context that you find not really cool at the like time. Like it's just like,
What do you mean by that?
well, like if they're a good person, but like they're not into like hip subjects and like aren't really like, you know, on the edge of like, I guess it's like I don't know what kind of.
I guess the question then as well is like, are they willing? It obviously seems like this girlfriend isn't willing to maybe meet them halfway. You know, she's not a normie who's like who there's a bottle opener on top of the fridge. Who she's not like someone who isn't willing to you know, to come to the rave, to kick on with the two best friends.
But that's all right. It's like,
Yeah,
it's
no,
like,
but what I'm saying is that you're saying she's someone who maybe has a cool things to bring to the table, but doesn't do it in a cool way.
Yeah.
And then the question is, well, is she stuck in her uncool ways, or is she willing to? Maybe she's quite shy, and it's a new relationship, and that, you know, I think this is the main thing as well. With the question is, and I wish it'd be nice to know the info of like how long they've been dating for, but let's just say after 3 months, like that's standard honeymoon period. By then you maybe get down to business of the relationship, and then some cracks might start appearing, and in those cracks you can either drive some little wedges, or and so if there are like cracks in the relationship, yeah, you might want to put a little wedge in, or maybe you want to put some some putty, some filler in there, and that's, you know, I guess that remains to be seen. I guess it's like also how happy does your friend become? I've had these friends who often will just like disappear once they're in a relationship, and you barely ever see them anymore, and that's kind of annoying. It really seems to like.
But that's what they want.
Yeah, it's what they want, but it's like it's just pathetic that like someone is like a friend and like, oh yay, social, and then they're like in a relationship and they're like, here I am with my partner, like you're calling them, and they're like, what are you doing? Like, and they're like, oh, nothing, like, ow. And you're like, well, how, if you have this relationship with someone and they don't figure into your life with your friends, then like how is that healthy in any way?
Yeah.
It seems unhealthy to me that like.
Well, yeah, I think it's like you feel like you've been betrayed a bit on like what you expect from them in a relationship, and I've had that the same thing happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like in your relationship with them, your expectations have been sort of like.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah.
Exactly, and then it's often, you know, these people often they're not usually a loser or anything, but like it's someone, you know, when you have a friendship or a relationship with someone, then like you probably had to like counsel them through, you know, their issues, or, you know, you've had these like varied experiences with people, and then that suddenly falls by the wayside as they've found their soulmate inevitably, until like it fucks up and they're like, oh, my life, and then you're like, well, I wish I could help you, but I never saw you for 6 months.
Yeah,
so.
I don't really understand the whole this scenario play out, because you haven't let me like really interact with you.
Exactly.
But I think it's like you got to draw like if you're going to draw this in a graph, which I'm kind of drawing out now with the dust on this table. It's you get like people get really enamored. And then they sort of there's like a period of time when they just like don't see you, and they're just like in love, and it's like it's a certain like personality type, because I feel like it plays out in like a lot of people again and again. but it's that point where they start to transform from like that honeymoon period into like a more kind of like relationship where they're like, they have that realization where they're like, well, if this fucks up, like they realize the annoyances they have in the relationship. And they're like, well, if this fucks up, who am I going to like turn to? And they realize I've like, distanced everyone in my friends right now. Like, and then they try to correct that by like getting back in touch with you or whatever.
Yeah. I think there's two elements in this question it sticks out to me, and they're couched in one sentence. And it's like, I think he's underestimating how cool he is and how cool of a partner he could find. Pardon me. Which is one, why haven't you been making your friend realize how cool he is? Do you put him down? Do you not care?
Jesus Christ!
Well, you're saying this person's saying, oh, you could find someone cooler, and then if you think that, why haven't you? And one, why haven't you been trying to find cool partners for him? And two, maybe
trying to find cool partners for him.
Like set him up with some.
You don't do that for me, so why the fuck is he expecting that to someone else to do that for you?
What?
This person?
Well, I don't think you want me to.
Well,
So I'm sorry, I don't know anyone in this town. I just moved here. And then
you've not just moved here. You're beyond the period of just
sorry.
moved
Oh
here.
yeah, I moved here and I had 2 years of isolation where the only people I knew are people I already knew. I haven't met a single new person.
Oh, that's bullshit.
It's 100% true. Once I find that's also the issue, Jack, is I haven't found any women who are.
I don't think that's an
I haven't
expectation
found any
of
women who
friends.
are cool enough.
Oh, for me.
Met some cool women, but
That's fair enough. You're putting me on a pedestal. I get
Yeah.
it. Like,
Anyway, what I'm saying is this is also the opportunity for this person to start wide-anting a relationship by bringing some cool women over.
no, that's like what.
And then these, being like, oh, wow, this Mary, she loves you. She thinks you're so cool. You are cool. And then making him feel some conflict in his relationship
But
choices.
that can only happen after a period, and that's why that like come to God period, like sort of like part happens where they go. Not to say you.
You do it now because it ends the honeymoon period. You say like party, like or like maybe.
Do you want to end the honeymoon period? Because
Well,
I think
the friend is obviously trying to figure out ways to break them up to ruin this guy's
should we help them in
relationship.
this? I feel like our advice should be based on the after honeymoon like period.
No, it's comprehensive advice. It's
Like, if you think your friend's that cool and that like with it, there'll become a period where they've sort of like they get reality, and then
that's true.
And then you wait for that period, which I've seen, like everyone's seen played out before, where they're in their own relationship or their friend's relationship, and then after that period, you go, and then they'll come to you for advice because that's probably when the trouble starts to happen, and that's when you can be like, put your 5 cents in or whatever, 2 cents. I forgot what the expression is.
Whatever. I need to. I think that's a good amount of time on that question. I think that the answer, hot tips or takes. The hot take was that you're maybe a bad friend. Doesn't really care about your friend's happiness. You're selfish. You just want your friend who you think is cool for your little kick-ons.
Yeah, your metrics is like cool them and not like how happy is my actual friend. But we don't know enough to make these judgments.
My hot tip is, just be the best friend possible, and then be the best friend possible, because then when they say have any qualms, then you'll be the best friend to step in and tell them what they should do about their relationship and how cool of a new girlfriend they could get, is my thought.
Well, you don't go straight into that. It's more like...
hyperbole.
Hyperbole. Yeah, but we're giving advice here. You don't base the advice on hyperbole because you confuse people.
No, I'm not saying it's hyperbole. I'm saying that obviously the question asker will be able to judge when the right time is to make their moves of white-anting the relationship. I'm not saying, that's why I'm not having to qualify it. I don't know.
Yeah, you got to act like that their dishappiness is like a new idea to them and not like something that was preordained.
Totally. All right.
Yeah, I think that we can cross that off.
Next question on just 1 second, because there was a confusing aspect of that question and I had to qualify it with the questioner However, they haven't answered that, so we're going to go directly into the question with a little less detail than I would ideally like. Anyhow, sorry, just getting back to roll the cigarette a bit further away.
Yeah, I'm an addict.
I'm a control freak. Next question. I have a friend who has been complaining to me a lot about their new relationship. They've been hanging out with someone for 5 months, and basically they're engaging in a way that could be called a relationship. They hang out multiple times a week, they go on trips together, and they've met each other's parents. But their partner doesn't like to be put in the category of quote-unquote heteronormative. They say they feel like an old straight couple and get annoyed if they feel they are losing their autonomy. At the same time, they get jealous over other people. The question is,
classic.
How do I contend with this ideology when the reality is so different to it? And just before we start, I was asking the questioner because I wanted to know, and I guess whether it's sort of like a, the nature of the relationship, is it cis, het, etc., etc. Maybe the quote-unquote heteronormative means that it is. Maybe it's just...
I reckon it is.
You reckon? Yeah. Maybe it's like a in my mind, it could be like a AMAB, non-binary with a cis het woman.
I'm so confused about what you just said.
That's like, okay, for you, it's a regular woman who like is, assigned female at birth woman who likes to root men, and then assigned male at birth person who now is non-binary.
Oh.
This is a kind of,
So it's a heteronormative. Let's just say, like...
That could be what it is. Who am I to say it? And it doesn't really, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's just,
I think it kind of does.
I'm just trying to paint a picture.
Yeah. I think
maybe it's just a guy, maybe it's a bisexual man.
Alright. Bisexual. So the friend is worried about being put in this category of a relationship. And like, let's call a spade, right? It's a relationship.
Yeah.
And, people are scared of entering in relationships.
5 months though.
5 months. And I think that, it's like, it's just like, you tell them that like, it is a relationship. It depends, like, are they monogamous?
I don't know.
It sounds like they are.
And it seems, you've met their parents and stuff. I think the stupid thing is, and the person is probably, firstly they sound like a fucking idiot, but like the second part is, and they're probably just also just like anxious, but it's like they're feeling they're losing their autonomy. You can be in a relationship and maintain your autonomy, just have that discussion, which might be difficult. You don't have to make some crazy thing about being heteronormative or not. Just say like, look, this is what I, need out of a relationship. It's ridiculous to me that
they feel like an old straight couple, but like, it's like you don't have to contend. Like, don't give into the hype of like everything has to be out there. Like, so interesting and dynamic and like,
exactly.
It has to be changing and like. You have to be experiencing more than one input at a time.
Totally. The world is like the world is so fucked up and fluid as it is.
Yeah.
Everything is like your job is casual. You're fucking flipping through your phone apps non-stop. Like, you know what? 2022, just chill. Yeah. Just like relax. Enjoy your little relationship.
Yeah.
Bro, like you said, you met the parents. Relax. I bet the parents probably like live in Castlemaine or have these kinds of people probably, they're not.
Don't say these kinds of, you don't know that much about them to be like.
If these kinds of people don't have access to some kind of holiday house, I will never have a relationship again in my life. Swear. Yeah, I'm just saying that like, they probably get to go to like, they're going to go to, maybe their parents are from interstate and they'll go to Chin Chin.
Yeah, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with chin chin. Like,
Dude, it's a bad,
no, it's not.
it's a bad and evil restaurant.
We're not gonna. It's an evil. Like, yeah, they underpaid. Like, the
It's a
only
bad
reason they were able to become such a fucking like symbol of underpaying their staff is because they're like a large. No, because they're like but they're a large restaurant. Like, there are so many other smaller fucking.
And they all. I'm not so. They're both bad.
Yeah, they're both bad, but like. It shouldn't be such a fucking lightning rod.
They're
like,
also bad.
Everyone on, dude. I've been in so many
weird
jobs.
Cultural appropriation, food, like it's out of date.
I like the chin chin, but like they should pay their staff more. And I think but I feel like there's so many people who don't that it's like they shouldn't be such a lightning rod.
I'm glad that you're willing to admit that you like chin chin because that's good, and people can admit things that other people in their social spheres might find unpopular, unlike this person in this relationship who needs to admit that they're in a relationship.
They don't want to be so boring. But like, it's like, fuck off. Like, if you can have something reliable and consistent and they're happy with it, like, they don't need to have anything more. They should just say that.
Exactly. And as you just said, chin chin is delicious. Just in the same way that you've obviously been seeing this person for 5 months.
And she's delicious. And you got to be happy with saying that she's delicious. And like,
she or
feel comfortable.
Sure. Or he.
She or they or him or them or like, you just got to like say that they're delicious. And like, I feel like if you don't pay the respect to the connection that you have with this person has with the other person, that it's like you're selling the relationship short. And like, this problem of really identifying that you actually give a fuck about them enough to be in a monogamous relationship, but not actually spelling it out, it like denies the like, how much you care about that person. Like, not to say that, polys don't care about, one of their relationships, but if you're feeling like it's not poly and that you're just wanting someone to like, that they're casual and they want to have someone else, it's like, you're denying that like this person has enough of your attention to be in a monogamous relationship, and they obviously do.
Totally. And the other thing that I really want to get to, and this is what makes me think it's like the person with the issue is a dude, because I just see so many guys like this who want to fuck around and don't want to like. So I'm so scared of losing my autonomy, but then get jealous over other people. That is straight up bullshit. That is such a male behavior.
It is a male behavior.
And that is like, this. The one thing I do know about this question is my friend who was asking on behalf of their friend said that they're Gen Z, which just so it means they're young. And like, I know when
our generation goes through the same kind of shit.
No, I'm just saying that we've probably grown past it. And like, I've never really.
Well, I don't think we have.
I think many people haven't. I think.
I still haven't. Like. Well, okay. No, but like you feel like sure. As you get older, it's like gonna be like, monogamy is left to the 40s, like that, or like
but I'm talking about the jealousy and the kind of thing where you're like, I don't want to lose my autonomy, but I'm jealous of you. Like, I'm saying that's like a young person, like, as you get older, you probably think, well, either let that person have their freedom and shut up about it, or dig into your monogamy and then you can not control them, but not have to worry about getting jealous or some shit. Like, you know what I mean?
I don't know. It's like, I feel like once you're in a relationship, the grass always looks greener on the other side. Like, it's like, whether in your relationship or not, it's hard to not hark back to like what was, and like especially this happens in like long-term relationships, and because of it's like 4 years, and like we're in our, if you get into your like late 20s, then the period that you compare it to is your early 20s. So people don't really like take into account the age difference of the time that they're like comparing it against.
No, I'm just saying that if you're upset about if you want your autonomy, you have to give someone else their autonomy. If you don't like them being autonomous, if you're jealous of them, well, then you have to give up your autonomy. Everything is equal in the way that you give or take it. You can't have your cake and eat it too. That's evil.
Yeah.
That's all. You know?
But I feel like you just gotta, like, they've got something going and they gotta be honest with themselves and everyone else about what is actually happening. Like, they have to be honest with everyone else, just themselves about, like, what is actually happening. And it sounds like they're in a monogamous relationship, and that's great.
Yeah.
If you find someone that, like, you know, pulls away your attention to the world and, like, you're willing to, like, just look at the one person, like, that should be celebrated.
Totally.
Because that does not fucking happen every day.
Totally.
And so, yeah, I feel like, you know, maybe just tell that friend that they should be happy that they have a connection with someone, and
I think the interesting
not be scared of it.
Is the question asked by proxy is by the one who is happy with the monogamous relationship.
The friend.
So, yeah, not the one who's got all the issues with it. And so it's funny because I think in that case, it's like, you know what, like, this person is kind of a fucking prick. Like, maybe just ditch them and, like, show them what they've lost. And they're probably...
No, they're a friend.
No, it's a friend. I'm saying, but the friend is asking on behalf of, not of the one who's doesn't want to be in the heteronormative relationship. They're asking...
Are they both worried or one of them's
One of them's worried.
One of them's... Oh,
only one of them, yeah. The other one is, like, cool with it.
Yeah, okay.
So what I'm saying is that, yeah, if you're the one who's cool with it, well, you know what? Like, I would say get out of it. You're better than that. You can just, like, see it for what it is.
But that's not their friend, right? The friend is the one that's...
No,
like,
that's what I'm saying, is their friend is the one who's not worried about it.
Oh, not worried about it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I did not read the question well enough. Yeah, well, like, just tell your friend, like, man, if they don't want to, like, commit, then, like, you know, if one of them thinks that's a heteronormative, like, if they're okay with being in a relationship, one of them's not, it's like, you got to talk about that shit.
Well, obviously, got to talk about it, but I'll just say get out of it. Because that's the thing as well with guys like that, is that once you get out of it, with people like that, yeah, they'll be like, oh no, what have I done? I ruined it all, like, wah, wah, wah. And then,
single life is not what I thought it would be.
Yeah. What do you mean by that?
Well, it depends the reason you leave the relationship. If it becomes out of your own inability to decide that it is a relationship, then, like, you're obviously in love with that person and didn't really understand. I didn't really see the signs. And so therefore, like, if you're, like, newly in love and you go into a single state, it's, like, not the same.
And maybe as well, like, that's what you're saying, like, what you see or what you're getting out of a relationship, like, maybe this person who's all annoyed about it just really is way queerer than they're letting on, and is, like, going through the motions of this heteronormative relationship, quote unquote, and, like, you know, being antagonistic about it, and they need to face up to the facts that
they give a fuck,
and they're a lot queerer than they're saying, and not be in this and be honest with this other.
It doesn't have to be about, like, them being gay or anything.
No, but being queer in the sense of, like, not wanting to be in a quote unquote like heteronormative relationship.
Is that what queer?
It encompasses all those, like, all those things. I mean, obviously, if you're not in a heteronormative relationship, by definition, surely that must mean you're queer, because if you weren't, then you would just be in the relationship.
Oh, so they're worried about... Oh, okay, so fuck me. I don't know why it's such a small attention to the heteronormative. So they're worried about, like, yeah. I think the normative part, is it the normative part they're worried about? That it's, like, a monogamous thing? Because that's what normative means, right? It's like, whether you're... Because if you're a poly, you're not in a heteronormative relationship.
You're not in a heteronormative relationship if you're poly.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like,
even if you're straight poly,
each single one, it doesn't mean you're queer, like, but it means, you know, you're not...
Yeah, heteronormative or not.
Yeah. But still, I don't know, what would you call it?
We don't know whether the focus is on the hetero or the normative part of the thing.
Then let's just like take it as both.
Both, yeah.
And just say that, like, maybe that's the point. Maybe it's the point is that you're in a queer relationship, but it's taking on the sort of the monogamous, like, feeling of a heteronormative one, and that's what makes you worried. Well, I can't really answer that because I don't have any experience in queer relationships. And to me, I'm only used to normal heteronormative ones.
Well, like, yeah, I just think
Regular.
Like,
Old. No, regular, you know, regular old.
but yeah, I think that, like, yeah. Like, yeah, tell your friend, like, your friend has to communicate to them that, like, that this person needs to understand their feelings and let that feelings be, like, known to your friend. Otherwise it's like, yeah, it's just like they're lying to themselves and the partner and be like, hey, like, if you're not like having sex with anyone else on the casual, like on the like the huge, and feel like a bit disconnected, you know, like to the person, it's like, then just say you're in what, you know, call it what it is.
Exactly. All right, I think that's enough on that question.
Yeah.
What? There's one more question. Do you have that?
Oh yeah, which one?
I don't know. The one you had. You had a good
I had
question.
two.
Okay, next question is the first time we've had a voicemail question, and so
one more voicemail.
We love to hear your voices and to feel connected more directly to our listeners. So, Jack, without further ado, hit it.
Hey, Jack, Theo, first time caller, no time listener. I have a problem and I need some advice about it. The other day I got home and I entered my building and there were police out the front, and sort of entered the building and just like heard behind me like this guy who was just like, "Do you have a fucking problem with me? Do you have a fucking problem?" And I turned around and there was just this like really cracked out dude, like who'd just moved in and had been causing quite a ruckus, sexually harassing the several gay men who live in the building. And I just had like a chat with him, and he was kind of pretty aggressive, but I calmed him down. And it sort of became awkward, and then he like kept like asking me to have sex with him, and I kept sort of saying no. And then at a certain point, I kind of got a bit scared and ran to my room. I haven't heard from him or his room since, but think I will again. Don't want him to be homeless, don't want him to live there. It's a classic gentrifiers dilemma, really. So what are you going to say about that? Let me know. I won't listen, but look forward to not hearing your response.
Thanks, friend
I
listener.
think, yeah, but what about good friends?
As we're known for, and you can trust us with, you will always remain anonymous.
And we have to stress that because we think that's why people are worried about problems.
We value that, and we value your trust and your trust in us and our trust in you. But let's get into the question. So we can't read back on it. I can't remember. Basically,
he doesn't want to interact with the method is there, but he doesn't want to interact with them.
And they hit on him and wanted to root him. Jennifer don't want him to be there, but don't want him to be homeless or to evict. Is there another entrance to your building you can start using where you won't have to interact with them? Maybe that's a way. Keep different hours and avoid to create new pathways where you might no longer have to
start spiking his gear with fentanyl.
That would mean you have to hang out with them a lot more to do that. That's fucked up. That's wacko. Let's keep this in the realms of reality, Jack.
Yeah, sorry.
thoughts. That's a hard one. Look, as a gentrifier, gentrifier's dilemma. Well, my advice would be, why don't you move out and go back and, it's the same as the last question, the heteronormative relationship. Well, I'm sorry, but you are a gentrifier, and maybe you should go back to the suburbs that you know and love and you feel comfortable in. You should stop trying to plumb the depths of new experiences.
Yeah, be more careful. But like also like the point of gentrification, I think, is like we move to suburbs like as younger people that we think are cool, and that's like where the scene is, and part of the scene is drug addiction. So it's like that's just
but obviously people do that because they enjoy that lifestyle. When this person asking this question isn't enjoying this lifestyle, so
but they are enjoying. Like I think they're not like they want the lifestyle, because I think this. Not I know the suburb this person lives in, but it's probably one where, where like they are the gentrifier comes with an aspect that they are like the younger, like the classic like step of gentrification is like the drug addicts and the students and the young people and then the like rich people. So maybe they are the young person, and that they are
maybe.
I don't know. I don't want to, assume, but like if they are the young person, like that's part of that's like the price of doing business.
Yeah, exactly. Like love it or leave it. If you don't like it.
Yeah, go somewhere really boring where families are.
Yeah, if you want your cute life, like, as we say,
you made your bed.
You dine always constantly dining in the buffet of life. And I think if you're not willing to do that, you should go to the a la carte of existence if you want.
Yeah.
Be my guest, I would say.
The pre-planned, not to say that, like, I don't know. Like, these gentrified suburbs, like, you only have a minor aspect. I feel like, because I know this person, like, lives in Collingwood.
You can't reveal these things.
I know, but, like, it brings such an important aspect, I think, to the question.
No, I don't know. Should we leave that?
Yeah. Can we stop it?
All right. What are your first thoughts?
Well, I think that, like, you gotta be like sensitive in this issue, obviously, and like you wanting to live as called a gentrifier by yourself. It's like part of the it's part of the cost of wanting to live in a hip suburb. You gotta deal with it. Like if you live in Footscray, mate, like it's not just gonna be one cunt in your like apartment building, and it's like you just gotta like put up with like that's the cost of doing business.
Yeah, I pretty much think like, if you don't like it,
leave it.
Yeah, go back.
Go back to where you came from.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I guess from the question I ascertained that you live in an apartment alone, so you enjoy those privileges, and obviously maybe
privileges. He pays for those privileges.
Yeah, but obviously the price you pay is you can't live in an apartment alone in maybe a suburb that is quote unquote like safer or whatever, or doesn't
or
have
an
like
apartment building that's like cheap.
Yeah, so you have obviously the cheapness or the affordability comes with like the territory.
Yeah.
And so like maybe you have to live in a share house, or maybe you whatever, like
or deal with what you've got.
Yeah, like, I think it's a pretty cut and dry question. As far as like him trying to root you, I guess I don't know if that comes into the question. That's on you. I think there's like
do you want those awkward interventions, like, or having to, like you got to? I think he's asking, do I intervene now and say something about it to hit them, or do I like stay still and like deal with the awkwardness of like continually like interacting with them and like being like ha ha ha.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. Like maybe there's like a alternate entrance to your apartment building you can start to use where you don't have to worry about
Poor people.
Yeah, the
Drug addicts.
the detritus of society. Where you know, maybe there's an entrance where there's like primo routes that you can find.
Yeah, hot dudes. Or females. Oh no, it's males. He makes that point in the question, right?
I think so.
So yeah.
Either way.
Either way.
Maybe both. Maybe they just don't want someone, they want to have a heteronormative relationship. Yeah, I think it's a pretty cut and dry question. Like, deal with it or don't. What do you expect? What do you want? You know, it's up to you, brother. Partner.
Or yeah, go to the cheaper suburbs where you like the more expensive building in the cheaper suburbs, or it sounds like you're in the cheaper building in the expensive suburbs where you get like that kind of shit happening. You know, like yeah, inner city living. What can we say?
Absolutely. It's yeah.
Yeah, I think we have nothing to add. Let's go to the next question.
That's it. That's the last question.
Oh, true. Yeah. All right, let's do it.
Oh no.
Let's do it.
What are any thoughts on the?
Any thoughts of the questions given and like how what's the sign off?
What's your feeling about? What do we have first? We had new girlfriend, wrong boyfriend.
Yeah, too cool for the relationship.
Too cool for school. Then we had too cool for a relationship. Yeah, and then we have reject relationship. Nervous.
It's a lot of relationships.
Yeah.
It's like, man, like we'll take any question. Like we don't like everyone's been giving us relationships. It's great. But like cooking. Cleaning, like any problem you have, we'll solve. Like that's the idea of this.
That's
like,
the idea.
People just go straight to relationships, which is.
I agree, and I think it's juicy. It's nice.
It's yeah.
But it's also like ask me what's the perfect time to cook an egg?
Oh, easy.
No, well, I'm not going to tell you now because you didn't ask.
No, you didn't ask the fucking question. Like,
but ask the question.
Like, and that's the thing. Put in your questions. Any questions you have.
Yeah.
Anything like fuck Google. Google has too much power. We gotta like. Then this is part of it. We're gonna we're trying to create like a different form of communication.
Flip the script.
Yeah, it's not at your fingertips. It's at our voice box.
Question how to flip the scripts. Ask. I don't know. Find out.
next episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely. I definitely enjoy the relationship. I want more juicy details. Let me hear more about
personal kind of shit.
Punanis, penises, sex, snot coming out, poo.
No. No, please.
I don't know. Just like, it's cool hearing about like, oh, my friend has a boyfriend. Like, lame.
No, not lame. Anything,
no, that's cool. That's cool. Anything's good.
Don't set the bar too high for our listeners that they have to, have a detailed description of vagina before you say anything.
No, I'm going to set the bar. Say the bar as low or as high as you want to go.
Yeah, just give us something. Like
we're
here to help. Yeah, you are. It seems like you are.
Appetite for altruism. I'm desperate to questions for me to answer. Help me.
Please.
Well, I would say to you, send in some canvas people. Anyway, whether you get it. Thanks for listening to this new episode.
Yeah. Talk soon.
Talk soon.